I played a game last night called Mr. Blinky Wink. It was stupid. Just one of those dumb internet dares that kids talk about when they're bored and want to scare each other. You say his name 3 times and blink and he's supposed to show up. So, alone in my dark bedroom, I did it. I said, "Mr. Blinky Wink, Mr. Blinky Wink, Mr. Blinky Wink," and blinked my eyes. When I opened them, he was there, standing at the end of my bed. Mr. Blinky Wink was tall, impossibly thin, and his skin was a sickly shade of pale, almost grey, like something that had never seen sunlight. But the worst part was his face. Smooth, featureless skin stretched tight across a head with no eyes, no nose, just a wide, thin-lipped mouth. And even though he had no eyes, I knew that he was staring at me. I tried not to blink, my eyes burning with the strain, but the moment I gave in, he moved. Just an inch closer, but I saw it. Every blink pulled him nearer, this jerky, puppet-like movement as if he was being yanked forward by invisible strings. I blinked again and now he's at the foot of my bed. His head cocked to one side, mouth twitching in a grotesque imitation of a smile. His teeth were long, crooked yellow things that looked like they belonged in the mouth of something dead, something that should be buried and forgotten. "Go away," I whispered through gritted teeth. My voice was trembling. He just tilted his head, like he was listening, and that awful smile widened. I blinked again and he was on the bed, his bony fingers clawing into the sheets as he crawled towards me. I could hear the fabric tearing under his grip, the mattress creaking under the weight of something that felt far too heavy to be human. How did he know I was blinking? He had no bloody eyes, no way to see, and yet every time my eyelids fluttered, he moved just a little bit closer. Like he could feel it, like he could sense every second of darkness when I shut my eyes. I tried to keep them open, but my vision blurred, tears streaming down my face, stinging as I fought to hold back the inevitable. When I blinked again, he was on my legs, his long, spidery fingers crawling up towards my waist, digging into my skin with a cold that bit deep into my bones. I could feel each joint in his fingers pop and crack as they moved, every inch of his body shuddering with each twitch. My breath hitched, panic flooding my veins, but I couldn't scream, couldn't move. I blinked once more and he was inches from my face. His breath, this sickly sweet rot that filled my nostrils, stinging and sour. His smile was so close, those awful teeth just a hair's breadth away from my skin. I squeezed my eyes shut, holding back tears, and every fibre of my being screaming at me not to look at this thing, not to open my eyes. But then I felt it. The pressure on my chest, like hands pushing down, cold fingers wrapping around my throat, squeezing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I was drowning in the darkness, choking on the air that smelled of decay and mildew as his voice slithered into my ear, raspy and wet. Brown eyes are my favourite. I tried to open my mouth. I tried to scream, but his fingers tightened, nails digging into my neck. I could feel his face hovering just above mine, his breath coming in ragged, shuddering gasps. My eyelids fluttered, but I didn't dare open them. Not now. It felt like not ever. Lachlan, he whispered, his voice stretching thin and distant, like it was echoing from the other side of a long, empty corridor. I want to see them. I want to see you. The bed started to shake. I felt something cold and wet slide across my cheek, like the touch of a dead tongue. His grip tightened, nails piercing the skin, and the darkness behind my closed eyelids seemed to pulse, drawing me deeper into it, into him. The room around me began to distort, the walls bending, the ceiling warping, as if the entire space was being swallowed by his mere presence. I felt my resolve crumbling, my mind slipping. If I just opened my eyes, it would all end, but then, in the silence, I heard it again. Those tiny, childlike giggles that were right by my ear, playful and malicious, and like a chorus of voices, all whispering in unison, echoing these words. Brown eyes are our favourite. My heart raced as my eyelids flickered. I knew if I opened them, I'd be a goner. Just another set of brown eyes lost to this Mr. Blinkywink. How the hell was he even real? So I steeled my resolve, and I clenched my eyes tighter, praying for dawn, praying for anything but the darkness that waited behind my closed eyes. And as I lay there, paralyzed, the pressure around my throat kind of released. The whispers faded, but I didn't dare open my eyes. I could feel him still, the chill of his presence lingering like frost on my skin. I lay there in the darkness behind my eyelids, terrified that if I opened them, even for a second, he'd still be waiting, closer than ever. If I kept them shut tight, my mind screaming for rest, my body frozen in fear. Now, I don't know how long I've been lying here now. Hours? Days? My eyes burn. My body aches. But I can't risk it. I can't let him in. I'm trapped in this darkness of my own stupid making. Caught in the space between sleep and wake. Because I know if I open my eyes even once, he'll be the last thing I ever see.